What's going on, guys? G2 here. Welcome back to the bench, and today we're going to talk about benches. So I've had a couple of you ask me what kind of bench I use, where did I get it, things of that nature. How do I get started in setting up a bench if I want to get into gunsmithing or building, etc. Now, there are hundreds of videos that you can find on YouTube that show you how to make a gunsmithing bench. There is, however, no video that I've seen. I just did a search that shows you the way that I do it. And I think, I'm not saying my way is better, but for me, my way works best. It's not expensive. All in, you're probably around $100 to $110. It's mobile. It is modular, and you can pretty much do with it as you want and set it up to however you need it. And for that reason, I think it's the best option. So let's go into, let me take this off here and let me give you a quick show as to what we got. So for my primary bench, the one that I do my videos on, it's an Olympia Tools. I got it at Harbor Freight. I want to say it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $170. I got it with the 20% off, so I ended up spending around $120, $129 for it. And for what it is, it works pretty good for me. Got a nice surface here, pegboards in the back. It did come with a light. I don't use that. You can see I've got my light set up around here because it just makes it a lot more clear. But for a starter bench, this is not bad. It gives you everything you need. You've got top storage here on the top. You have side storage as well. You've got an electrical outlet here that you can see that plugs in, so you've got 3 outlets here on the side to power your equipment. It's got nice, there we go, nice hangers on the side for whatever you've got going on. And then of course on the bottom it's got a shelf. You could go even further with this and use maybe a pull-out shelf option in there, and then you've got your couple drawers right here. So the base, I guess, is just a MDF. I use a cloth on top of it so it kind of highlights the pieces as we're videoing. Overall, I'd say this is a pretty good choice if you want to get into starting gunsmithing for about $120 if you can find a coupon and get it on sale. I'd also check Amazon too and see. Every once in a while you can find them kind of cheap. But the main focus of this video is for this. Now, this is my go-to bench. I've got 4 of these currently made up. 1 in this shop and then 3 in the other shop. This one doesn't have all of the tools on it. This is the one that I use when I do videos. So when I'm using a tool, I'll bring the tool here and place it so I can do easy recording and not have to go back and forth from shop to shop. But all this is this, a modular 4-shelf metal storage. And typically when you see them, they're arranged like that vertically. But you can split it up so that you have 2 equal sections, both with shelves. And then I just get 2 pieces of MDF. They're 2 foot by 4 foot, butt them together, and they sit nicely on top. You can see here they sit nicely on top. If you want to go even further, you can trim it down to size and have it actually recess in the lip here. But I like to have the overhang, so when I have a chair here, I can work pretty much up to this and not have my knees hit anything. This one here, 4-shelf, runs $60 some. The MDF itself will run you, I don't know, probably about $20. So for about $80 you can have this setup right here. Now, my suggested option is you go with the 5-shelf, and the reason being the 4-shelf sits a little low. The 5-shelf is going to be just a little bit higher, so when you're standing, as I'm standing here, it's kind of up to my thigh. The 5 shelf will bring it up a little bit more to working height and make it much, much easier for you. Of course, you can always put some stilts or something on this to raise it up, but I would suggest going with the 5 shelf. The thing that I love about this is, one, MDF is cheap, okay? It's $11 for one of these 2x4 sheets, so you can drill in it, you can mount vices, drill presses, all kinds of equipment to it, and move it around, you know, because it's wood, and it'll stay in there. If you want to have your vise here, you can have your vise here, and then you can move it over here, or over there, or whatever it is, and not worry so much about having something that's irreplaceable. The other thing that you can do with this, which I highly suggest, is if you're going to go with this option, is get a pegboard. Get a 2x4 piece of pegboard, cut it in half, so you have 2 pieces, and then you can attach it to the side here, just using some screws, right? And it's in there nice and tight, and then you have storage on your side. Here I've got my belt and disc sanding pads. I've got my extra blade for my cut-off saw, and then over on this side I've got some clamps. Just another way that you can add storage to this. Now, what I did to keep these two together, it's very simple. I just used a bolt right straight through it. You can see that? And that keeps these two together so they don't come apart. The thing that I like most about this setup is, one, it's cheap. 2, it's easy to move. So if I was ever to move this to, say, a garage, all I do, take the MDF off, take the 2 bolts out, and I have my 2 shelving units that I can move independently. If I wanted to have 2 separate benches, I just take the bolts out, and now I have 2 benches. And it's really the sky's the limit to how you can set this up. So if you want to do 2, you can have one here, and maybe you do another one this way. So you have kind of an L workshop. Tons of options for not a ton of price. This is a 2-foot by 8-foot workbench for under $80. That's modular, that's movable, that's customizable, and I think for me, really, it's really the best way to go for the beginning hobbyist or gunsmithing or whatever it is. Even if you're not into gunsmithing, you're trying to build a workbench on the cheap, that's the way to go. So let me know your thoughts. Have you tried this? Have you thought about it? I think it's a great option for the beginner, especially for the advanced gunsmither, because you can really custom your shop on a very reasonable budget to however you want. You can have a reloading table, you can have a gunsmithing table, you can have a build table, and a 2x4 foot section is more than enough room to do any of those things independently. So let me know what you think. Comment below. Make sure that you like, favorite, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell too, because we have a ton of videos coming your way here. This is just what I'm working on currently at the moment. So we're going to go over some optic install. We've got a couple of optic reviews. We're going to talk about castle nuts, threaded rear takedowns, silencer muzzle brakes, Glock 17 trigger jobs, and an AR 7.62 by 39 build is also on the horizon. So make sure you hit that notification bell. Don't miss anything. Until next time, make sure that you're practicing safe weapon handling at all time, treating every weapon as if it was loaded. God bless America. G2 out.